Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you have the chance, go check out our website, justsayingfootball.com. Follow us on Instagram at JustSayingNoGWJS for article and video updates. And don't forget to check us out on Spotify at Just Saying Football. We want to be in your ears. We like it there. It's cozy. It's comfortable, especially with this cold weather right now.
Yeah.
Week 16 is done. We're in week 17, my man.
Yeah, you were talking about the cold. Week 16 was a freezing cold weekend full of a bunch of madness. Yeah, oh my God. 7 games under 10 degrees Fahrenheit last week. Cleveland, we were talking about it, minus 21 last week. In the North Pole at that time in warm-ups, it was minus 15. So it was a point literally where Cleveland,
I got you.
You got that? Don't worry about it. Literally, I mean, the thing is with Cleveland, thank you, Sean. Cleveland, basically, I mean, they obviously got that loss, but, man, I mean, even in Tennessee, freaking blackouts and delays in the game because in Nashville, it was 5 degrees last week.
We love that. Who doesn't love to be in 5-degree weather in the South? That's what everyone expects when you're down there.
Definitely the Titans fans.
Yeah. And then you also had the power outages, which delayed the game. It was a tough one.
Yeah.
Before we get into this Thursday night football that kicks off our Week 17, some fantasy news. I am somehow scrapped my way with the 6-8 team and 6th seed into the finals, and I am playing for our trophy in our keeper league. Jack, would you like to tell them where you're at?
No, I'd rather not mention where I'm at. For the first time in what feels like forever in this league, I have not made the playoffs, and I am in the toilet bowl game. Just hoping that, my team that obviously many had dealt with, losing guys like Taylor, losing guys like Kupp later in the season, dealing with Mike Williams, Mike Thomas injuries, and here we are fighting for my life, and stay tuned because we'll be showing you our punishment eventually. Hopefully it's not me who has to do it, though.
Hopefully 50-50. It's not, but it could be. It could be. All right, before we jump into this Week 17 a little bit more, we have some news and notes. First off, veteran defensive end J.J. Watt announced he is retiring from the NFL. Watt leads the NFL with one of the most illustrious resumes in all of football. Yeah. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 1-time Walter Payton Man of the Year, 5-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL sack leader, and 1-time NFL forced fumble co-leader. He is for sure a first ballot Hall of Famer and should have won the MVP award a handful of years back against Aaron Rodgers. Just wanted that on record. I still believed that you deserve that, J.J. Watt.
Heck yeah.
You were doing it all for your team offensively and defensively.
But guy had 5 touchdowns in one season.
5 touchdowns.
3 receiving, 2 defensive.
It was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, let's keep this moving. Denver Broncos have fired their head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, on Monday. His tenure ends with a 4-11 season, potential reunion with Green Bay and maybe Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? They're going to keep him there for sure. Also, Broncos have fired special teams coordinator Dwayne Stokes and offensive line coach Butch Berry. Denver has also announced that Jerry Rossberg will be the intern head coach. He was their senior assistant, but he's also been a special teams coordinator in the past. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa entered the concussion protocol again on Monday. This is something to monitor because this is once again that the Dolphins have missed a concussion with their guy, and he's back in this concussion protocol, and that's part of the reason why he might have thrown 3 interceptions in the second half of the last game. Yeah,
there was a fan. Everybody saw it posted like a video on Twitter about the about the hit he took, and obviously he wasn't taken out of the game after that. And his performance, obviously, you could see it right there. It was a nationally televised game, totally Christmas. People can see that there was definitely not something right with to his game at the end, and obviously with the precaution he had earlier in the season, it's a no-brainer that they should be out there checking on him like anytime a hit comes like that.
Absolutely, we wish him to get healthy because that's what's most important. If he needs to rest the rest of the season, I'm sorry, Dolphins fans, you got to let this guy rest. It's a handful of head injuries, and he's only around our age, 25 years old. That's too young to be suffering all these. So just something to keep monitoring. All right, moving this along. Cincinnati Bengals suffered a huge loss. Right tackle La'el Collins suffered a torn ACL in Saturday's win over the Patriots. He's out for the remainder of the season. This is big for them. We saw last playoffs, their offensive line really struggled. They went out, they signed La'el Collins, they got all these other guys to really help that out. Carolina Panthers cornerback J.C. Horn will undergo surgery to repair a broken wrist. There's no timetable for his return at the moment. Now, the reason why that's important is to note that there's no timetables because they actually have a chance to make the playoffs should they win the NFC South in the next 2 weeks, depending on how the Buccaneers do They
in
got
this game, yeah.
Yeah, and they got a huge win. But in that respect, the Panthers did sign veteran Josh Norman to their practice squad, who makes his return to Carolina.
Former Panther,
great, and Super Bowl loser.
Yeah.
Josh
Ooh,
Norman.
had to throw that.
A little harsh. Yeah. All right, let's keep this moving. Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson suffered a torn tendon in his abdominal area during Saturday's loss to the Cowboys. He's out for the remainder of the season. This does not affect their playoff chances. They have essentially they've locked up the East. I believe they're in the playoffs. They pretty much have the number 1 seed locked, unless they lose the next 2 games and the Vikings win the next 2 games. But something to monitor. He's going to be out the remainder of the season. He has a chance to return for the playoffs, but there's still no timetable. It hasn't been determined yet. So that's a huge loss for them if he's out.
And they haven't ruled him out this week, but it's like, do you start him?
No,
we'll go into that later.
Some big news for the New York Jets fans out there. Quarterback Mike White has been medically cleared to play for the game on Sunday versus Seahawks and will be getting the start. In other news, Jets head coach Robert Saleh announced that quarterback Zach Wilson will be inactive for Sunday's game. Joe Flacco will serve as Mike White's backup in this one. Could be the end of Zach Wilson era in New York. It will be something to monitor this offseason, especially if Mike White continues to play the way that he has, or at least loses with some dignity and plays well.
Yeah. No, obviously. I mean, we love watching this storyline this season of him getting his chance again. Zach Wilson getting his chance last week, obviously getting benched. Now it's a big game. You're playing Seattle. You have a chance to go to the playoffs. And, at the end of the day, you're the Jets fans, they really rally around this guy. The team rallies around this guy. So, I mean, like you're saying, Zach Wilson, not really the same effect there. So we'll have to maybe have a conversation or two this season about other landing spots.
Yeah, let's see. You can't always buy your offensive lineman in the NFL. It doesn't work like that.
No, he got him $10,000 gifts, but they can still bench him.
Yeah, exactly. It still happens. The head coach decision. All right, let's kick this off with our Week 17 Thursday night football game. We have the Dallas Cowboys making their way to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Dallas is favored in this one by -10. Over on here, 40.5. Now, we know Cowboys fans out there are super hype about last week.
Yeah.
They get the win over the Eagles, and now they get what is essentially a pretty easy game in the Titans, wouldn't you say?
I definitely think this is an easier matchup, and obviously, the Titans this season has not been like the last couple of seasons. Last season they were locking up the first seed in the AFC. They were destroying teams that, were winning in playoff teams. Now, definitely an easier matchup on the road. As we said, Tennessee lost last week with Houston. It was the first, what felt like kind of like a real start for Malik Willis. It was a divisional game. It was tough weather, but, not the best game out of him right now. Still has yet to throw his first touchdown in 3 games. Dak, on the other hand, last week, you got to give it to him. 27 for 35, 347, 3-1 touchdown interception. Really covered the Dallas loss of their run game that they've loved, their 1-2 punch. Not too much out of Zeke and Pollard last week, but I got to give it to Dak. Like him and CD right now, the way they're playing, I'd be nervous if I was the Titans.
You're saying that, and I was just thinking that because I'm looking over here at the notes, and the defensive pass yards that the Titans give out is just a ton. It's better than the Vikings. They're 31st. Shout out to you, Minnesota. Bad defense. 279 yards to give up in the passing. What we've seen the last few weeks from Dak, despite the Jacksonville overtime loss, and that is a tear. And him and CD have found this connection. It's happening late in the season. Michael Gallup is also slowly getting involved, especially in the red zone. He seems to really like to go his way. So, look, the Tennessee Titans, they're probably will shut down this run attack of Ezekiel and Tony Pollard. They're only letting up 80 yards a game, Tennessee, defensively against the rush. So I do expect them to kind of shut this down. We saw the Eagles do it last week. Only gave up about, 75 yards roughly to the Eagles running back duo last week. So I expect that the Titans can recreate that. But I still think the secondary is going to be able to slow them down. On the flip, the offense of this Titans team all season has been tough to watch, whether it's Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis. Yes, Ryan Tannehill definitely plays better than him at the moment. I was a big Malik Willis guy. I thought he was going to go in the first round. I thought he was going to be the future of this team, and he could be. What we've seen from him in the passing game, not great. 31 for 61 in 3 games. That's a 50.8% completion, 276 yards in 3 games, 3 interceptions, only 1 rushing touchdown. You're not going to win against a really stout defensive team like Dallas like that. It's just not going to happen. I'm definitely locking in Dallas this week. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same. I think the Cowboys last week, like you said, beating the Eagles, Jalen Hurts or not was a huge statement. Putting up 40 points on that Eagles team, staying in it in such a huge bat. I think the line at the end was 74 points combined. So, and the Titans, this is how we love December football. Like, we've been talking about Jacksonville and how they needed to win last week, and they got that done. They needed Tennessee to lose. That happened. Now, Tennessee is ahead of them. After the whole season, the Titans had a lock on this division. We really thought they were going to run away with it. And now you got Dallas coming in, who are 10-point favorites coming into your house. And I don't think the Dallas needs to do much because, like you said, Malik Willis, 31 completions in 3 games. He has 27 rushes in those games. And you are not going to be able to run when you got a guy like Micah Parsons playing the outside and the middle of the field. Agreed. Spying on you. I think that if he shuts that down early, the Dallas defense, they're
22nd against the rush.
Yeah.
And look, Derrick Henry, first half,
yes,
will probably keep this game close.
I agree.
Can it be like 17-7, 17-10 in favor of Dallas at halftime, or maybe even like 14 points to Dallas at that point by the end of the half? Yeah, probably. But I think by the second half, that's what's been happening last 2 games for Titans. Teams clamp down on their run, and then the passing game is a little bit ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Henry will probably rush for over 100 yards. Will probably even stumble his way into the end zone, which hurts me. I'm playing him in fantasy, but that's just this is the reality.
This is Derrick Henry. Yeah. It's December.
Exactly.
He is full Derrick Henry right now.
And so they'll run the ball. They'll run the ball well. Dallas is 22nd against the rush, giving up 130 yards. You know what I mean? They'll be able to do that through Henry, but I think in the second half, it won't be able to sustain them when Dallas is just like, maybe like 5 plays, and then all of a sudden it's a touchdown to Dalton Schultz just because they're in the red zone, and that's what they do.
And even outside of CD having that huge game, 11 for 10, 120 and 2, like you're saying, it is Dalton Schultz. Is Michael Gallup, like you're saying, loves to go in the red zone. Noah Brown,
Tony Pollard, they can dial up the screen passes.
The Titans defense, like you're saying, they're second best in rushing. But they're also the second worst in passing. I think that Dak has another game where he just needs to air it out. We've seen a lot of games of Dallas, having their run really be their philosophy. Now it's got to be the pass. And like you're saying, if the Titans can somehow make that their philosophy, it gives them a chance. But I do see, Dallas running away with it. I know with the short weeks, a lot of games have been like very underwhelming. I think that this could be at least like somewhat of a good game. But like you're saying, by the second half rolling around, I could see Dallas kind of putting their foot on the gas. I was gonna say the gas pedal and just going.
Yeah, and also the problem with the Titans' recipe of always running the ball, although it works with Derrick Henry, is that once you find yourself in a hole and you're forced to pass, and you can't run the ball and you can't pass the ball, your offense doesn't move. But also you've just drained so much of the clock.
Yeah,
and, you can't afford to do that anymore. You have to pass. You have to move the ball quickly down the field, take up chunky yards. You can't afford to waste, a minute between 2 plays. And
when Dallas has it, they maintain some long drives, so they can clock manage just as well as the Titans have been able to. I think
so. Long drives, and they can score quickly. It's just it's something that Tennessee I just don't think is going to be ready.
And
for.
Trayvon Diggs is going to be on Robert Woods. I think that's like a easy match.
I will say this: I'll take the under on this one of the 40.5, and I will comfortably take Dallas at -10. I like them on that spread. I think that this could easily be like a 23 to 13 kind of game, a 23 to 10 game.
I like that. Yeah, I'll take kind of the under on the 40.5. I do believe it will be like a lower game, maybe like 20 to 17. Like I said, I think Dallas will get out early, and then maybe just the Titans start working their way back, but it's not enough. But still good with that. And I think Dallas, they can with the 10. I mean, for me, I think the Titans could possibly cover, but I don't feel right saying that. I know I said 20 to 17, but I still think Dallas could keep it under 40.5 and win by 10. The Titans just may put up 3 points in this game.
I really hope that they don't. I would like a semi.
Yeah, I would like a good game. Yeah, we haven't really had any good Thursday night football games this year.
But if it happens, it happens. It's late in the season. All right, that's all the time we have. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys for checking us out. Enjoy this second last week of the regular season. Playoffs are coming in hot. Tennessee hosting Dallas, going to be a crazy one. Remember to check it out, justsayingfootball.com, Just Saying Football on YouTube and Spotify, and on Instagram, all your updates, Just Saying, no G, WJS. Thank you guys for checking us out.
Enjoy.